Hey guys, it's Adam from BB Barbecue and Pits. On this week's episode, I've got an awesome video. We're going to do a straight rib battle, pellet smoker, offset smoker. We're going to find out which one does a better job. So for the pellet smoker, we're going to be using my Green Mountain Grill Ledge Prime. Then we've got that filled up with some Traeger hickory pellets. And then in the other corner, we've got my fully restored Pecos offset smoker from Old Country Barbecue Pits. As you can tell, I've already got it fired up just because it takes it a little while to get going. So I kind of want to get these ribs on at the same time. So I'm going to zoom in and show you what we're working with. So with the offset, I've just fired up some lump charcoal. And then thanks to one of my subscribers, Fred Wheels, shout out to you, I've got some fire brick in there now. So I've got the firebox insulated on the bottom and the sides, so we're going to see how that does today. We're going to dump this in when it's ready, and then we'll get some logs on. So for today's rib battle, I'm going to keep the seasonings the same. So we're going to start out with a double strength garlic pepper from OBQ's. Then we're going to do a heavy layer of the Heath Riles Competition barbecue rub. I'm excited to use that. I haven't used it yet. And then we're going to top it off with the classic hot barbecue rub from Killer Hogs. That's just going to give it a nice little kick to it. So we're going to get these ribs ready and get these smokers fired up, see which one's going to win. Alright, so we got our 2 racks of ribs here. All I've done is squared them up St. Louis style. I've trimmed off a little bit of fat, and then we pulled the membrane on the back. So let's go ahead and start seasoning these. So like I said, we're going to start with that OBQ's double pepper garlic. You're just going to do a light layer here. This is just going to build that barbecue flavor, so let's flip those over. And then you probably want to start on the back, but I got excited here. So put your light layer of that. Heath Riles Competition barbecue rub. We're going to go heavy coat on this. So just take it nice and easy. Then to top it off, we got the Killer Hogs hot. So we're going to go a light layer of the hot, just to add a little kick to it. We did the backside. I'm going to let that sit for about 5 minutes just to sweat in a little bit. I'll bring you back in 5 minutes. Alright, while we're giving it that 5 minutes, I think our coals might be ready out here in the woods, baby. Pop me a nice adult beverage. So let's go check on this, see what's going on. I think we're ready, yep. So let me turn this camera around real quick. Boy, it sure is nice out here today. It's been cold a whole lot. So let's turn this camera around. See what's going on. Boy, that thing's ready to dump in there. So I'm gonna get my welding glove. I'm gonna dump that on in there. So we got our coals on top of our brick there. Now we're gonna go grab some logs. Let's go grab some logs out here at the woodshed. Like I said, it's a really nice day out here. It's nice to be cooking and not be at work. So here's my woodshed here. So I got red oak stacked up. Since the last video, I've gotten some white oak actually stacked up. That's drying pretty nicely there. This is the side that's pretty dry. We're going to take a bunch of logs from there and we're going to take them back to the cooker. Alright, so we got our logs here. We're going to head back to the cooker. And boy, I love being out here. There ain't nothing better than being out in the woods, a warm day, cooking some good ribs. I'm excited to see how this turns out. Let's get that lit up. So now it's been 5 minutes. Let's go check on those ribs. We're going to go season them the rest of the way. All right, back up at the ribs. We've let that sweat in just a little bit. So let's flip them over. See, it doesn't really fly off as bad when you let it sit there for a second. So we've already hit this side with the double pepper garlic, so we're just going to do the other 2 seasonings. We're going to take these back inside. I'm going to let them sit out for at least 15 to 30 minutes. That's what you're looking for. So you'll be able to tell that seasoning will turn into a paste that'll sweat in. So let's get these things inside. We're going to fire up the pellet smoker. And that's it. I mean, pros and cons, you can't beat that thing, especially when you you know, you get out here and you don't want to fire anything up, you just want to press a button, it's good to go. So we're going to let that warm up, and then we'll get these ribs on when they're ready. It's been 30 minutes. We're going to go ahead and throw these ribs on. They've had time to sweat in and form a nice paste. So let's open up the pellet smoker. We're going to put them right in the middle. And I like to bunch them up a little bit, so leave those like that. And for the first hour, we're actually going to run at 200. For it to have any kind of smoke, you need to run at a low temperature. You're going to get more out of those pellets. So we'll check back on those in 1 hour. Alright, same thing with the offset, except with this one we're going to be running at 275. Just because it'd be kind of hard to run it at 200. We'll check back on those in 1 hour. And guys, hit the comments, let me know which rack you think is going to come out better and why. It's time to add another log to the fire. The fire bricks are doing a really good job though, keeping it nice and hot and keeping the coal bed nice and hot. So let's add another log. We'll keep that thing running at 275. Alright, so I got these logs heating up on top here. I'll move those off. Let's open up the cowboy box. Crush up any kind of logs that are about to fall apart. Get those coals going here. And then we'll add one more log, see where that puts us. We can put it right in the middle there. Alright, so 1 hour down. Let's check on these ribs on the pellet smoker. They're looking really nice. That 1 hour in that smoke is going to make a huge difference. What I've got here is 50% apple cider vinegar, 50% water. We're just going to spray this thing down. Babies are looking really good. Cranked it up to 250. We're going to slowly get it back up to 275. That's just what we have to do with the pellet smoker to get the most out of it. We don't really have to do that with the offset, just because you're going to get all that goodness, all that smoke out of the wood. So the pellets are just a little bit different, so we're going to try to emulate the offset with the pellet smoker. That's how you do it. You get all that smoke flavor integrated into those ribs. So let's go check on those offset ribs. And take a look at these ribs. Man, those things are looking good. That's what those are looking like. That bark is definitely set. It's looking really good. So we've been running very consistent, 275, 250. Go ahead and spray those babies down. We're not going to change anything with this. It's just going to run at 275 for another hour. I always like to do at least 2 hours in the smoke with my ribs. That's what gives that good smoke flavor without pushing it too much. So we'll let those go for another hour. We'll check back when it's time to wrap these things up. So far the cook's going pretty good. You know, this is my first rib battle with 2 cookers. Let me know, guys, down in the comments if you want to see any other videos of any 2 cookers up against each other. I've got the Weber kettle, and then I plan on in the future making a drum, so I'll make a video of that. But other than that, I mean, everything's running pretty smooth. I haven't had any issues, so we're gonna get some good ribs out of this video. So that fire's running really smooth. Everything's working out really nice. I always love those cooks when you don't have to stress about anything. Alright, it's been 30 more minutes, so a total of an hour and 30 minutes. Let's see what these ribs are looking like. Really nice. We're going to spritz them down again. They're going to go 30 more minutes unwrapped. So what I'm going to do, you can hear that thing kicking on. What I'm going to do is crank it up to 275 at this point. Alright, now we're at the offset smoker. Let's check on these ribs. It's been an hour and a half also, so we're going to spritz them down. Give them a nice good spritz. So let's check these out, see what they're doing. They look really good. Good color to them. You can tell all that fat's rendered down really nicely. We've been running at a steady 250 to 275. So we're going to let those go for 30 more minutes in the smoke before we wrap them up. And we'll be back in 30 minutes. We're at that 2 hour mark. So we have hit 2 hours. This is what the ribs are looking like. Let's spritz them down one last time. Looking really good. Get any dry spots on there. I mean, they look like they have rendered down really nicely. Good smell to them. And this is the pellet smoker. So we're going to pull these off and get them wrapped up. So before we pull them off, let's go ahead and get our wrap ready. So what I've got is a little brown sugar. Just a decent amount of that. right in the middle of that foil, I've got this 2 layers of aluminum foil. That's pretty good right there. Some honey. Then we're going to do a little bit of parquet. And that's going to do it for the wrap process. Let's get these ribs, throw them on there. I'm going to put them face down in that wrap. Then we're going to wrap them up. So we're going to do the same exact wrap process with these ribs on the offset. So I'm going to show you just what they look like before we wrap them. We'll take a look at these ribs. So they're looking really good. Let's spritz them down. Very good red color to them. I'm going to take them over to that table and we're going to do the same exact thing. The brown sugar, the honey, the butter, all of it. We're going to do the same thing that we did on the other ribs. To save you from the hassle of watching it, I'm just going to do it off camera. Just know I'm doing everything the exact same. This is what they're looking like. Really, really nice color, nice bark on those. Man, both of these ribs came out really nice. So I'm excited to see what they finish out like. Alright, so now we got both of our ribs wrapped up. I put a P on the pellet smoker ones, and then I put an O on the offset ones, just so I can keep track of them. So we're just going to put both of them in the oven to conserve fuel. They're wrapped up, they've taken all the smoke they can take. So I highly advise, just putting them in the oven and finishing them off. They're going to be protected by that foil, so they're not going to burn or anything. So I've set my oven to 300, so we're going to slide them things in there. Pellet ones are going to go on top. I put them in an aluminum pan, and then the offset on the bottom there. So we're going to let these go for another hour, and then we're going to check on them to see if they're done. Alright, it's been 1 hour. We're going to check them out, see if they're done. So the oven's been running at 300 degrees, and what I'm thinking is going to happen is the offset ribs will probably be done before the pellet smoked ribs, just because we had that long period of time where it was just going 200. So let's open them up. These are the offset. I can pick them up and show them to you. That's what we're looking like on the ribs, on the offset. Take this probe and go right in between the bone. So we're running 208. We're just probing in between the bones for feel at this point. The number's not so important. Actually, I know it says 207, but I can still feel a little bit. I can still feel a little bit of resistance, even at 207. They're just different ribs, different racks of ribs are going to be different. So I think I'm going to let those go for another 15 minutes and then they'll be done. These are the pellet smoker ribs. We're going to check next. I know, Opie. Alright, let's check these out right in between the bones here. So I can feel a little tiny bit of resistance. I'm going to let these go for another 15 minutes. So that's what our pellet smoked ribs are looking like. A lot of bone pullback. I'm going to wrap these up and let them go for another 15 minutes and then we'll pull them out. Alright, so our ribs are done. We're going to pull them out of the wrap and then we're going to do just one more thing and they'll be ready to eat. Alright, so these are the pellet smoker ribs. Got a lot of good bone pullback. Looks really nice. So we're going to dump all that juice off. Get all that off. We're going to put this in the pan. Really awesome color on those. These are the offset ribs. They definitely smell smoky in here. Got a good aroma to them. Alright, so our offset ribs, this is what they're looking like. Get all that juice off of them. I'm going to put those in here beside. So the offset's on the left, the pellet's on the right. Alright, so we got the pellet smoker on 225 and we're going to put these ribs back on to get that sauce to set. So the offset's going in the front and then the pellet smoker ribs are going in the back. And that's what we're looking like. So to finish them off, I'm going to add a little bit more Killer Hogs Hot. You just need to do a little dusting on the top. Just like that on both sets of ribs. We got my favorite Blues Hogs Champions blend. So we're gonna put that on top of the ribs. Get your brush, brush it in. Man, these ribs are smelling good. So let's get that nice and even. Alright, so we're gonna let that go at 225 for 10 minutes. Alright, it's been 10 minutes and these things are looking awesome. So offset in the front, this is what they're looking like. Really nice color. I'm gonna put those in the front, and then the pellet smoked ribs looking really good too. Both looking really nice. I'm gonna put those in the back. So let's take them inside and put them on the cutting board. Alright, let's break this new cutting board in. This is the offset rack of ribs. That's what they look like. Really nice color. You can tell all that fat rendered down nicely. Run your line of sauce just like that. So now I'm going to flip these face down just like that. Same thing for the pellet smoked ribs. Put your line of sauce. And the pellet smoker ribs, this is what they look like. Really nice color. A little bit lighter in color than the offset ribs. So we're going to put those face down here. Both looking really good on the back side. A lot of bone pull back. So let's cut into them and see how I did it. Right, so we're going to cut right in the middle of the rack. On that one. And that's what the offset rib looks like. Good smoke ring on it. Pretty juicy. You can see all the juice in there. Man, that thing looks good. Really nice. I'm going to put that to the side. Now let's cut the middle bone out of the pellet smoked rib. Alright. So this is the pellet smoker rib from the middle. Definitely got a lot of juice here. So the offset has a bigger smoke ring, you can tell. Both look really juicy. That's what the top side looks like. Very similar. Both of them are looking really good. Let's taste them and see who's going to be the winner. Alright, moment of truth, guys. We're going to try the offset rib first. So this is that middle rib I cut out. Got a good bite to it. Clean bone. That's a really nice rib. Juicy. Really nice. Good flavor to it. Good smoke flavor. The smoke flavor is more subtle. That's what I get with the offset. It's there, but it's very subtle. So now we're going to try the pellet smoker rib. Alright, now we got our pellet smoker rib. Try that out. Pretty good. That's pretty daggone good right there. Super tender. Perfectly cooked. Clean bone. Very juicy. I have to give it to the Green Mountain on this rack. It's really good. Believe it or not, I'm thinking that the Green Mountain took it on this one. That's really good. I mean, that's hard to beat. So this is the offset. This is the Green Mountain pellet smoker. Green Mountain took it on this one. So that's the rib battle #1. Let me know in the comments any videos you want me to do coming up, maybe a rib battle 2. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button down below. I've got a lot more content coming. Until next time, guys, see you down the road.